Hello everybody, my name is Hero and I'm back with a brand new video, and today I couldn't believe what RoR Jennings had to say about Pochettino, our owners, and Chelsea itself in our loss to Bradford at home. I mean, obviously you guys know who RoR Jennings is. He's the guy that said Erling Haaland would flop, and among that terrible take, he has several others to add to his plate, but not so like the title of his recent video or his recent Chelsea video that's titled, "This is Pochettino's Fault." If you watch that video, I mean, it's so annoying for a man to speak so elegantly, he speaks so elegantly and well, like he reads a thesaurus all day. That's how he sounds like. But when you get to the crux of what he's saying, you're like, man, what the hell are you talking about? It's so crazy, bro. It really is. He speaks so well, but then his point is so out there and doom is doom. He reminds me of those guys that would wear like the end is nigh billboards on their boards, you know. That's who he is to me right now. And I'm gonna go through most of his points that he made in his live stream as well, in the 1 hour live stream. But again, do I have to go any further than the fact that this man thinks that Aiden Ketia is a great striker? I mean, how reactionary do you have to be? And he is so reactionary, man. He is so reactionary, and it's frankly annoying that he always pops up on my recommended list on YouTube and I end up watching. Because the feeling I have at the end of these videos is one of annoyance and one of how can't you analyze football? How can't you? It's almost like he just watches football instead of analyzing it, because it's not a great mystery why we lost to Bradford yesterday or this past weekend. It's not a great mystery. It's not some like astrophysicist. Oh man, I have to calculate the gravitational pull of the sun, and oh man, I have to throw this at the 95-degree angle at a force of 2 newtons. It's nothing like that. It's very simple. And thing is, one more point I like to criticize him on is the fact that he's a Chelsea fan, not a Chelsea supporter. And that's something you have to really think about. To be a fan, you can follow the club. He follows the club instead of supporting it. And understand why he doesn't support it. He's so used to the instant success like most of us have been in the recent years. Also used to getting a new coach, buying top tier players, and instant success. And that's why we have been the most successful club in the 20th century. And then it turns on the new owners. First of all, let's get into why I don't think this is Pochettino's fault at all. And it bleeds into why I kind of blame the owners in a way, but not to the extent that Rory does. Pochettino doesn't have the tools to make us a great team. He has the pieces to build the tools that will make us into a great team. Because if you look at Chelsea right now, it's very simple to understand what we're trying to do. It's very ambitious, it's very crazy, but it's very simple. We are getting developmental players and putting them under a developmental coach and getting them to world-class level. Hopefully, some of them can. Enzo Fernandez is already world-class, but then we're trying to get Mudryk, Madueke, Caicedo even to world-class status as well. That's crazy. Can it work? We have to give it the best chance of it working. And there are 2 positions, I believe, on a football pitch that you can't predict how good they're going to be logically, or you just can't see how great they can be. And I'll give you examples of this. And those 2 positions are the striker and the goalkeeper. You can't predict who's going to be the next great goalkeeper, like Mannion, Allison, and other, Courtois even. When they're in the early 20s, you can never say, man, when this guy's 30, he's going to be great. Or this young striker, like, wow, this man's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Unless they're doing it right now, like Erling Haaland's doing. And the example I gave is Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson did score a hat-trick against Newcastle, but you can't say he's going to be the next great striker. You can't say that, really. You just can't do it, because a striker, it's so hit and miss. A striker is more about the mental space than what they can do, like with the ability. Like Sergio Aguero. No one would have said this man's going to be a great striker depending on his physique, maybe how he plays the ball, but he's one of the greatest strikers in the Premier League. Well, when he's 22, you could have predicted that, but you could have been like, maybe not. And as well, he was already banging goals when he was at Atletico, I think. Besides that, everywhere else, you can develop players into being a great midfielder. You can develop players into being a great winger. You can develop players to be a great centre-back and wing-back. But goalkeeper, you can to a certain extent, but the world-class goalkeepers are more instinctual. It's just what they have. And a striker, I don't think you can do that at all. And that's where I think the ownership got it wrong. Everywhere else, I understand, man, Alengio, he's on loan there. He can be a great striker. Diego as well. Midfielders, we have Santos, people like him as well. Thing is about those positions, you can learn how to pass the ball, how to cross the ball, how to take on a player, and all that. But a striker is more instinctive. You can't develop a great striker. That's what I think, and that's what I've seen throughout the years watching football and analyzing. Like that guy who's in Germany right now, I don't think he still is, but he was the top goal scorer in Europe. No one would have said that last season and the season before, but he's there, he's banging goals. Oh, gross. Excuse me for that. And again, let's look at how Bradford beat us yesterday. I blame Pochettino for playing Disasi at right back, and that's frankly all I can say he could have done better. Everything else, what the players he has fit, that's the best he could do. I don't blame him at all. It's all circumstantial, but he could have played Malo Gusto right back. I'll tell you why. I mean, it's kind of logical. But how were we attacking in the first half? Left-hand side, Marco Corella and Sterling were having most of the ball, and Cole Palmer were whipping in crosses. Madueke, instead of hitting the post or slash bar or slash crossbar, he was non-existent. Why was he non-existent? Because he had no support of an attacking fullback. Malo Gusto would have kept our attack balanced, because we would have been able to attack from the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Because most of our attack coming from the left-hand side, and Frank saw that in the first half, and in the second half he cut that off. Jensen was marking Marco Corella like no one's business, and he completely killed our attacking plan. And that's my problem with our performances today. It's a slight problem. We probably still would have lost because we don't have a striker. That's the slight thing I would change. But would it have won us the game? We don't know, and we can't know right now. And thing is, Jackson, I don't think Jackson is a striker we need at Chelsea for right now to actually be in the top half. Because I'm pretty sure you know as well. You've watched Jackson. Jackson, you can almost envision how he can score goals this season. On the counter-attack, ball into space, runs onto it, finishes it off. That's how you describe winger scoring, not strikers. Strikers should have a plethora of how they score. Maybe a header, maybe a volley, maybe like a touch and a shot, controlling the ball in the air, shooting it. That's how strikers should have multiple ways of scoring. And frankly, Jackson doesn't have multiple ways of scoring. It's either our wingers going to the ball and cut it back for him to just tap it in, which anyone can do. Honestly, anyone can do, and or through pass behind the defensive line, and he scores. Against a low block, you're better off playing me there. You're better off playing an injured, I don't know, Luis Suarez, an old Luis Suarez right now. He just doesn't have the ability to do that. I still believe Amano Broya has a higher ceiling than Nicholas Jackson. I think you do too. I think it's very logical to say that. But we don't have the tools to deal with a low block. The moment I saw playing Bradford at home, I knew how they were going to play. It isn't this great mystery. Like, man, I really wonder what they're going to do. Are they going to come out, play the ball away from home against a team that's better than them? Of course not. And frankly, that's how we lost. We lost against Nottingham Forest. And frankly, that's how we kind of lost against Aston Villa, if you think about it. Counter-attack goals. Sit back, break. Simple. Because against a low block, we don't have the tools to deal with it. And I see us losing that. Luckily, I don't know if this is luckily or if this is luck. But our next fixtures, none of them are going to play a low block. Tottenham won't. Man City won't. Newcastle won't. Manchester United won't. Maybe Everton. I think we play Everton. Maybe Everton. But A low block is almost like a guaranteed point or a guaranteed win against Chelsea. And again, I don't know if this is luck, but we're playing the top 6 of last season, and none of them will play low blocks. So I'm expecting better performances. I think you kind of have to, because we are like a fluid team, and against a brick wall, there's nothing we can do. We can't break them down. And now, how do I fix this? Which Rory just doesn't know, apparently. It's like the great mysteries of the world. It's very simple. We get a number 9. We get a target man. Not a striker, not a mobile striker that can play on the left wing or right wing or cam. We get a number 9, a target man. First of all, that will get us goals, and that will fix our attacking. It will galvanize the attack and put all the pressure on him. And Jackson just can't deal with the pressure. In January, we get Ivan Toney, and in the summer, we might look at Victor Osimhen. That's the most logical way we can fix this team. But the thing is, we have to survive until then. And I think we can survive till then. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people in this hell month and a half we're going to have. Thing is about number 9, it fixes so many problems. Against a low block, Ivan Toney will understand how to play against a low block. He knows how to play against a low block. He knows how to deal with being mocked, like Jackson. I mean, Jackson against Bradford, I mean, those 2 centre-backs were having a ball of a time. They might as well have been on Twitter saying, this guy's, he's in my pocket, watch this. They could have been doing anything else. They could have been thinking about lollies. I mean, I don't know, man. Just thinking about anything ridiculous. That's how much of a threat Jackson was. And of course, RoR Jennings would think, Eddie Nketiah would change that problem, which is obviously ridiculous. But Ivan Toney will not only give us a target man, but he will give us goals. Because Ivan Toney is the type of striker that'll go like everyone, like to a Cole Palmer, Madueke, Mudryk, Sterling. Your first instinct will be to look, where is Ivan Toney? And I think that slight mental change is so much to a young team like us. To look up and see, what do I do? And you know what to do. You know what to do, to look to Ivan Toney. I do believe he has to shake off some rust in the few games, but when he gets going, there will just be so much trust in him, in our attacking phase, that will do us wonders for the development of wingers, midfielders, and so much. Because that change is so slight, but it's so crucial as well, to build around a player that you know you can depend on. Because I don't think we can depend on Amara Broya, and I don't think we can depend on Nicholas Jackson. We know this, and the players know this. So they turn into individuals in the attacking phase, and not a team that knows how they can get a goal. It's almost like, what can I do to get a goal? Not I have to do 1, 2, 3 to get a goal. You understand? And then it's a simple problem that Rory apparently is absolutely baffled by, not absolutely blindsided by. And now, to end this video off, let's talk about the owners, which Rory absolutely loathes. These owners were handpicked by Roman Abramovich. And that speaks volumes to me. Absolute volumes. Roman Abramovich's highest offer to buy Chelsea, I think, was from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And he chose Todd Bowley and Iqbali. That speaks volumes to it. That's why I have faith in them, because they're kind of like Roman Abramovich in infancy, in a way. I don't know, they're handpicked by him, so I have to have faith in the chosen ones. See, you see what I did there? And again, this theory that Rory has, that they're here for money, like the Glazers, is absolutely... It just has no facts behind them. No facts whatsoever. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous how you can somehow look at 1 billion spent, the first transfer window, where they bought in Koulibaly and them. Koulibaly is the standout player, because I thought he was going to be better than what he is. To buy those type of players and to sell them the next summer. How can you say they're here for money when the first thing they did was to absolutely go the other way and buy instant impact players? Or you expect instant impact players? How can you say that? And they sell them for a loss. And the fact that they can't take out dividends for like 10 years or 5 seasons. How can you look at all this and say they're here for money. And that's only one point to debunk this ridiculous claim that the owners are just here for money. How can you buy David Washington for 30 million and say, you know what, he's one for the future? How can you buy, I think, was it another 30 million, 20 million for Alangho, whatever his name is, who went on loan to France? I'm not sure, but how can you spend tens of millions of pounds or dollars on unknown players, developmental players, exciting players, and then expect the valuation of them to just increase for no reason? Let's say Madueke is a 40 million winger, I think. 40 million winger, 30 million if you're being if you're being cruel. 30 million winger, if he doesn't play this season or doesn't play well this season, do you think his valuation increases or decreases? Do you think it increases just because he's a young lad that will turn 22, I think? Or do you think it will decrease saying, there's nothing there for him? You understand? When these guys play well, I understand they're here for money then, because their value will normally increase. They will normally increase, right? But if they're not playing well, their value decreases. It's common sense. So they need to play well for the valuation to increase. And if they're playing well, we are better on the pitch. We're getting results. We are winning. That's how that works. That's how valuation works. If this thing works well, it's obviously better than the thing that doesn't work well. It's common sense. It's common sense. I don't know, man. I don't know how I can. Malacia at Manchester United. I think he's young. I don't know how young he is. Let's compare him to Malo Gusto. Who is more valuable? Well, it's kind of harsh because Malacia is injured. Let's say it's the last season. Who is more valuable? Malo Gusto, you can say he's more valuable right now because he's playing games. But if Malacia starts playing like Luke Shaw and Malo Gusto isn't playing, would you still say Malo Gusto is more valuable than Malacia? Obviously not. Obviously not. I mean, I really wish I had more young players in my mind that aren't world class yet. Man, I'm trying to think, but I just can't come up with one just like that. But it just, for this team to have more value, they have to be playing well. And if they play well, they're winning games and everyone's happy. This theory that they're just here for money is absolutely ludicrous. How can you look at 1 billion spent in two summers and say, you know what, I think these guys are here for money? How do you look at the fact that they can't take out dividends for 10 years or so to say, these guys are here for money? Or how can you look, okay, these guys pledged they're going to build a new stadium, which is going to be like, what, 2 billion? So 3 billion, which is basically double what they paid for the club, and say, these guys are here for money. These guys are here for the long haul. They're here for the long haul, these guys. It's almost like looking at Saudi Arabia with Newcastle saying they're here for money. Could be, but it's absolutely nonsensical. It's all theories, but no facts. And that's what annoys me with RoR Jennings. He speaks so elegantly. I mean, this man reads a thesaurus for lunch sometimes. That's how it feels like. But when you get to the crux of it, you're like, man, 70% of what this guy says is garbage. That's harsh, but it's garbage. And that's why I'm annoyed, infuriated, and frankly, disappointed in him. I am disappointed in him because he should be those guys that says, no, look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like what I said throughout the entire video. It's simple. It's logical. It's either you get in behind it, and frankly, it's sickening. It's sickening. But yeah, that's what I have to say about RoR Jennings, man. I mean, it's almost disappointing that how the way he speaks, but 70% of what he says is ass. And that's all I have to say. And that's why I wish you a very good day. Bye-bye.